Walk with History today is at the reenactment of the Battle of Great Bridge from Chesapeake, Virginia. Hi, Jen, a Walk with History, historian, veteran. I'm here in Chesapeake, Virginia for the Battle of Great Bridge, 1775. It happens on December 9th, my birthday. And you see the British flag behind me because this is a battle between the British and the Virginia militia. And I say 1775, you're thinking, oh my gosh, this is even before 1776. And you would be right. This is when the official ruling power of the British is pushed out of Virginia. Governor Dunmore from Williamsburg has already left Williamsburg because he's afraid for his safety, which is the capital of Virginia at the time, comes here to Norfolk and sits on a ship in Norfolk and trying to control this whole channel area, cut off supplies from the militia who's pushing back against him. And he makes this push for this bridge, this very important bridge that kind of controls the whole harbor, Great Bridge. And he doesn't realize that the Virginia militia is so built up. And he thinks it's gonna be so easy just to take this bridge on December 9th, 1775. He has a little bit of a rude awakening when he's pushed back, when the Virginia militia has double the size of the British power and pushes them back. There's actually no casualties on the militia side, and there's about 30 casualties on the British side. Lord Dunmore, how long have you been here in Norfolk on the ship when this battle occurred?
Well, it's been a matter of, 6 months or so.
6 months or so. You've left Williamsburg,
Yeah.
and your position as governor of Williamsburg, governor of Virginia.
Madam, I must disabuse you.
Oh.
I have not left my position as governor. I have only abandoned Williamsburg.
And why did you leave your governor's palace?
Williamsburg was not safe. At the time, I did not have the king's troops. In fact, the only troops available to me were a small company of Marines on one of the vessels.
How many would that be?
Perhaps 40 or 50 men.
40 or 50 men, and then you're going up against the militia at Williamsburg of 200 men?
Well, it's hard to say. These independent companies, you see, do not give me their numbers. Mm-hmm. It was clear that I could not keep order there, that I must come down here where the numbers of those loyal to His Majesty are much greater in number.
So you believe at this moment it's the time to strike? That they're at their weakest point?
Captain Fordyce is in command here. But yes, I believe that he has concluded that it's best to strike now, you see, force the bridge and run them off with the bayonet.
Well, good luck to you today.
Madam, I don't think I'm going to need much of it, but I will accept your good wishes.
The recreation of the Battle of Great Bridge, and I learned about a new historic person, a history maker, who you portrayed today.
Yep.
And his name was Billy
Flora.
Billy Flora?
Mm-hmm.
And tell me more about him.
So Billy Flora's from this area in Virginia here. We're in Great Bridge. And what happens is during December 1775, right, the British are kind of trying to come over the bridge. Americans are camped here, they're sleeping. And Billy is a sentry, right?
Okay.
So he's kind of like watching what's going on, and at the time it's all swamps.
Mm-hmm.
So there's lots of tall grass and you barely see people, and he sees the bearskins of their hat.
Tell me about your cover.
The cover is a grenadier's cap made out of bearskin. It's to give us the tall but also intimidating look upon our enemies and all those who stand against His Majesty.
That's so cool.
So he sees these bearskins and he starts, shooting a couple pop shots at them, and they're firing back, and the rest of the sentries actually run away, and where Billy stays back and fires up to about 8 shots, and gets over the bridge, and then takes out a plank of the bridge to slow down the grenadiers from getting over.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So he's super smart.
Oh, super smart. Yeah. So he was born free, and after the war, he ends up, I think he runs like a charter business. He's being a land surveyor, owns some land.
So awesome.
Yeah.
So Billy's a man of color,
Yes.
and he's born free in Virginia. Hey,
Yes.
Billy's awesome.
Oh yeah, Billy's amazing.
So he holds off basically the soldiers for a while, able to get the plank, give people time to reinforce behind him. So he's a pretty brave guy.
Amazingly brave, and he goes on to fight all throughout the war. He ends up in Monmouth, Brandywine, a few other battles.
Oh my gosh, he's my new hero.
Yeah.
I'm gonna look him up.
You should. Yeah, he's amazing.
That's
he's
awesome.
Insane.
I learned all about him today. This guy is fantastic. So thank you, and you portrayed him so well. So, what were the women doing? Who
Laundry and nursing and sometimes cooking and sewing and
in the camp?
yeah.
So you're with the British
Heading
camp.
out and taking care of the wounded.
Okay, so you're only with the British camp, or were you on the
No, both.
both sides?
Women are filling roles that just the Army doesn't have. There is no medical corps. There is no nursing corps. There's no supply corps. Women are filling in the roles because their husbands are in the Army.
So that's what I was going to ask. So you are a wife of a soldier, more than likely.
Wives and children of soldiers.
Wives and children of soldiers.
Comes from Edinburgh.
Yeah.
And it's you stay home and you wait 6 years and see if someone bothers to tell you if he died.
Sure. Or you go with.
him.
Got you.
And sometimes that
And you
having a
rate-
life as a nurse can be the matter between life and death.
Absolutely. And the seamstress and the cook. And you're raising your children
Yes.
in these forts among the fighting.
On the move constantly.
Very-
Half rations, quarter rations, what the guys get, and
Wow.
supply lines are always crazy. And you read the accounts, and a lot of times the women aren't even mentioned. They're doing something unusual.
You have to read in between the lines.
Right, it's like the privates. They're
Sure.
all you're doing your job. We don't mention.
Interesting. How do you guys like doing this? You like it? It's a lot of fun? You enjoy it? Yeah? We're important. Every other person's a woman. So, and they were there. So I think that's really awesome, guys. Thank you. So I'm here at the reenactment Battle of Great Bridge, and I'm interviewing for the British side, right? You fought for the British side. So tell me more about who you portrayed and tell me about what you're wearing.
Sure, yeah. So I portrayed a former slave named Cesar,
Okay.
who was wounded at the battle. And I serve in a unit called Lord Dunmore's Loyal Ethiopians. And when Lord Dunmore put forth a proclamation to free slaves, right, he needed more soldiers to fight in his army.
Yes.
It freed people like me and the local plantations in the area, took them away from rebels,
Yes.
right? So took away from their manpower and allowed us to be able to fight for freedom. They gave us freedom in order to be able to fight.
Wow.
So we fought here, we fought many skirmishes in the area, and on this day we helped, attack the colonists, but unfortunately we weren't able to help them win.
So how many free men of color were there on the British side
Total or for this battle?
for this battle?
For this battle, so originally when Lord Dunmore put forth the proclamation, he had about 2,000 of us come
Wow.
out, but he only found about maybe 200 to 400 of us fit for battle
Okay.
at the time. So about 200 to 400 depending.
Okay, and now, were you allowed to keep your freedom even though they lost the battle? Like, were you allowed to keep your freedom after the war?
After the war, we went a number of different places. The British generally did not renege on freedom like some of
Okay.
the colonists did.
Good.
So they took many of us to Sierra Leone,
Yeah.
to Africa,
Yeah.
some of us to England. They took a lot of us to Nova Scotia
Oh,
as well. So there's
wow.
still a healthy African-American population in Nova Scotia.
That's
They're
so
descendants
cool.
of lots of former Virginian slaves.
Yeah.
And some of us they took back to the Caribbean as well. In those cases, sometimes they did renege on freedom. So.
BS. So this is what they would wear.
Yes.
So they would, right, liberty to slaves on their shirts as
Yes.
they would fight.
Yeah, right. So they was generally like a kind of like a hunting front.
Yeah.
Like basic, and then some were able to get that painted on there, liberty to slaves.
That's so cool.
We were fighting for freedom. The colonists were fighting for their freedom from British tyranny.
Yeah.
We were fighting for freedom no matter what.
From
state,
everybody,
right?
yeah.
Because there were many of us, like you saw Billy Flora,
Yeah.
were fighting for their freedom too as colonists, and they were offered freedom to fight for them as well.
Sure.
It was a war for freedom for us, but not just from British tyranny.
Sure, that's so awesome. Now, Cesar, what happens to Cesar?
Cesar is wounded, and unfortunately he's mortally wounded, and he's one of the people that's found in the fort after the battle by the colonists.
So great. I love to see your representation today.
you.
And how long have you been doing this?
I've been doing this for 2 years.
That's so cool. And what's your name?
My name's Kevin. Chat.
Kevin. Nice to meet you, Kevin.
Meet you.
That's very awesome. Well, thank you. Thank you for your interview today.
All the reenactors here. many who have been coming here year after year. We want to salute you, the people of Chesapeake and Great Bridge, for hosting us, and remind you that in 2 years, it'll be the 250th anniversary of this battle, this very, very important battle. So, all reenactors, present arms!
Fantastic day here at the recreation of the Battle of Great Bridge here in Chesapeake, Virginia. If you ever get a chance to make it out, please do. In 2 years, they say it's going to be the 250th anniversary. Again, this happened on my birthday, December 9th, 1775, and you get to interact with all of the players. So just something really fun for living history, and Walk with History was just very honored to be here today. On to my next Walk with History.